Today on When Calls the Heart, we talk about school and being schooled. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Hello, Hearties. Dun, 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 dun. Hello. Welcome back, everybody. Here it comes. Boom.
I love it.
Amazing.
I love it.
Welcome back, Hearties. Back to AfterBuzz TV. We are here doing When Calls the Heart, Season 5, Episode 2, Hearts and Minds. Great episode. I'm your host, Marisa Serafini. You can follow me everywhere at Serafini TV. Joining me, I have... Get that laughter.
It's me, James Lott Jr., of course, and you can follow me where all James Lott Jr.'s are, at James Lott Jr.
At James Lott Jr. All right.
Yes.
This episode, so good.
Yes, before we start, though, I just want to do a shout-out to the Ohio Hearties. I'm wearing your shirts. Our shirt, yes.
And your shirt says, I'm in...
A hearty state of mind. With the Ohio kind of thing in there. And also from one of the events, this really beautiful glass that has Season 5 on it. So I have that. I was going to drink out of it, but I just didn't do that today. I was going to do that. And also...
you could.
I could, I guess. You love my laugh? Hi, guys. Also, before we love this episode. I know we love this episode.
Yes, we do.
And to me, it just, again, shows how just wonderful the writing, direction, the acting, the message is. We just want to say we want to just like give a little shout out to our fearless leader, Papa Hardy himself, Brian Bird. This weekend, you can go online and see all of you want to say. We're not going to talk about that part, but he tried to talk to the Hardys about some of the Hardys have concerns about how the show looks, and I just want to give us a little just kind of pep talk that he did his best to talk to everyone, and he took a lot of heat while he was talking to them. And I want you guys to know this. Executive producers usually don't talk to fans. He loves the Hardys.
It's a luxury
that
Hardys get the interaction with Brian Bird as much as they do. It's a luxury.
I agree. And he was still kind and gracious in responding. And I just think this episode, which we're going to dive into, was such an example of how great this show is and how it is needed today. And that I could walk away feeling good, which we need that today too. And I just hope that all Hardys, once you have dissension, once you agree with me, can come together and enjoy the show for what it is, because it's a wonderfully put together show that makes people feel good. And I think you want to say something about production-wise. You know a little more about that.
Absolutely. And I come from the production aspect of television shows, just movies and media in general and stuff. And it really hurts me when I hear other people say, this was a filler episode, or this episode didn't really do much. And, that also hurts the production people, the writers, the producers, the directors, people who put their hard time and effort into making something happen and putting something together in the short amount of time that they did.
Yes.
And it turned around. Just to hear that it's called a filler.
I know.
That's heartbreaking.
To me, it was heartbreaking to me too.
It's so, for production, disrespectful too.
I agree.
Because people are working, they're spending time, their hard-earned effort and time, and their money into this. And they don't want to hear things that this is a filler.
Right.
Because every episode, it might not agree with some people, but every episode serves a purpose.
Yes, I'm glad you said that. And we're going to talk much longer about this, but I just want to say, I like you said that. Every episode does forward story. If you really watch the episodes, things happen that continue the stories that we love to watch. And everyone has an opinion. We do this. This is what we do. We're on the show. We talk about our opinions. But I just think that some of the way things were handled this weekend were not the greatest. And it just hurt our hearts. And speaking of being Hardys, it hurt our hearts.
From the Hardys, yeah.
Hardys.
So being true fans and big fans of Hardys as we are as well, we thought the need to address it.
Yes.
Because if we didn't have opinions, we wouldn't have a show.
We wouldn't have a show, right? Exactly.
This after show is all of our opinions.
Yes.
But that doesn't mean that we can't respect other people's opinions as well.
Right.
Be heartful.
Be heartful. I like
kindness.
That. I like that. Like be heartful.
Kindness week, kindness all around. It's not just a week, it's kindness every day.
Yes, I agree.
All right.
There you go.
Let's get into this episode, Hearts
Yes.
and Minds.
Yes.
There you go. Quick overall thoughts?
It was a great episode. Again, showing the town coming together. There was some humor. Bill had some. We're going to talk about when we talk about Bill's story. He had some of the best lines of the episode that were so funny. But the
So
town,
good.
they're so good,
them
so
down.
good. And Cody made me cry. I texted her after and said, "Oh my God, did not expect that." He made
Always
me.
makes us.
I know. He's just
His
crying.
moments with him and Abigail.
God, I know. It's so good. It's so good. He's so good. The acting was superb. We got to meet some new characters that we hadn't really seen before. I saw your Asian guy.
I saw your black guy.
That's my black guys. We saw them there. So they were great. We saw them there. So more of the town. But a beautiful episode. What do you think?
I love this episode. Is it crazy to say that I loved this episode more than I did the premiere?
I did too. I agree.
I mean, I love the premiere as
me
well.
too.
But this episode, really hit.
I agree.
And I was like, wow, at the end of this episode, I really viscerally felt something.
I felt hopeful.
Yeah.
I did. I did. I felt bouncy. I went in my garden afterwards and gardened. I felt so hopeful. And I went outside. It was a beautiful day here in LA, and I was in my garden. I'm just like, life was good. I can talk about this later. I was very happy.
Yeah, I mean, I was just applauding the last 10 minutes.
There
were so many good moments.
I'll wait a second. I'll tell you when I stood up. Yeah, I'll tell you when I stood up.
Do it for the applause. All right, let's get into it.
Yes.
Dottie and Rosemary is this whole. Rosemary's running the dress shop. We have Dottie's apparel dress shop now. That's your thoughts of Rosemary and her just trying to sell/help Wilma in this new dress.
Again, I think I said this last week. Rosemary, why she's one of my favorite characters, is she does show heart. And she believes she's romantic. She believes in love.
Yeah.
She's theatrical and she's big and broad, which we call the same thing. But I believe in love too, and I believe in romance. And I just thought it showcased again another side of her. But what really impressed me was seeing more of the dress shop and what they really do there. And she's this dressmaker. And it's amazing. And we get to see inside the shop and the dynamic between her and Dottie.
Yeah, and you can see they do it for the passion because they actually enjoy it compared to there are a lot of fashion designers out there now that do it for the money.
That's true. That's very true.
And I like back then, it definitely shows Rosemary has a flair for designing and fashion, and she knows when her work works for other people, especially with Wilma. But what were your thoughts of Wilma trying to get this dress, even though multiple times she was like, I can't afford it, it's beautiful, I can't afford it. But Rosemary pushing.
I've done that myself. There's some Louis Vuitton luggage I want. I mean, I'm dead serious. I've gone to Louis Vuitton and looked at it several times. I can't afford it yet. So I do know what it feels like to kind of want something and maybe I'm gonna try to work towards it. I'm gonna get it one day. I'm gonna try to work towards it. So I thought it was very cool. Pascal Hutton, who plays Rosemary, is so good. The way her facial expression changed was like, because you realize it's an anniversary. She really wants this dress and she can't afford it. And she was afraid to try it on. Like, she was like, her face just changed. I was like, that's such a wonderful acting note that she did. I love that she wanted to help her out because Wilma, they're not rich. And this dress was a little above her pay grade or whatever. She couldn't really get it. So.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the storyline because we have not really seen any story with Wilma at all.
No.
So I'm glad she finally got a spotlight. And she's part of this community too.
Yes.
And I think she came from a regular mentality of a lot of people who would like to afford nice things but just can't. As much as they want to, they just, unfortunately, in this situation that they are, they just can't. It's being practical, and it's not they're being cheap or
not at all.
It's just situations practically they can't
Yeah.
afford it.
Yeah.
And I like that because a lot of people know what that's like, so very relatable.
Yes, very relatable.
But what were your thoughts of Rosemary actually having this brilliant idea of realizing that Wilma makes her own dresses,
yes,
a great seamstress, and giving her the pattern to make it herself?
And I love the outcome of it. Just basically that, designer. Did you write that down? So something about the designer.
Yes, got it. Designer, fashion, and bargain prices.
Yes.
Sew your own.
Love that title. Sew your own. That's a great line for it.
It is.
I just thought, again, Rosemary's she's for love, and she's smart. I said it last week too. She's smart. So it was a brilliant idea. And
she's innovative.
She's innovative. That's a great word too. She's innovative and she's forward thinking. So she was like, well, I'll just give this, and she already sews anyway. Brilliant. I thought that was a great way. But Sew Your Own made me very happy. I love the title of that.
Yeah, I loved how she put 2 and 2 together. That she's a good seamstress. She can probably make this dress.
Right.
Just buy her own fabric. I would not really. It would have taken me a long time to get there, admittedly, because I don't do fashion, as James knows this.
Yes, right.
But I loved how she helped Wilma get the dress that she wanted.
She did.
Maybe not the most conventional way, but she did it. And her anniversary date dinner with her husband.
Which I didn't expect this part, which I loved. I kept forgetting that Lee has a car. Remember, he bought one. I totally
has
forgot
a Ford.
Yes, he does. I always forget.
Fords are great.
Yeah, I always forget that I had a Ford Taurus for years. But I forgot that he had a car. So it was a nice surprise when he pulls up and gives it. I kept laughing at him saying, and be careful with my car. Be careful with my car. But it was like, they're so cute. They're like helping someone else. And it was very romantic. It was very romantic.
It was very thoughtful.
Yes.
You know, just how Rosemary always puts her effort into helping other people.
Yes.
You know, and we've seen this time and time again. There are times, I think only in season 1 she was a little bit selfish.
Yes.
But now she's like selfless.
Yes, that's good. And also for me, I go into my deeper meanings. I always think when they're able to showcase other couples on the show and have other couples helping other couples, it really does reinforce their love. I think Lee and Rosemary felt even better because they helped someone else, another couple, with their anniversary. 10 years together, that's a long time. It's a long time. And she was, and I hope it reinforced their kind of commitment to each other because she loves Lee, of course. And I just thought it was I love when they show that in the show, other couples having their things and resolutions, and I love that because it's part of the community.
Yeah, I thought it was a really sweet moment that she spent so much time helping Wilma actually get this dress. Like,
oh my God, JMKFN 452, which is Joyce, I believe.
Hello, Joyce.
Hi, Joyce. Shows the town blossoming. I like that.
Yes.
It's showing that the town is growing and there's different components happening, and it's a real town.
It is.
It's a real town.
Yeah, I think Abigail said it last week. We're a community. We help each other.
I know.
Yes, you guys definitely do. And we'll get into that. Speaking of
yeah.
Abigail, let's get into her and her story this episode. So we get Jacob Weston. He comes to town, played by Cameron Bancroft, he's been in Chesapeake Shores, Cedar Cove, and The Wedding March.
Oh, my God. Okay,
so he's been in Hallmark for a while. And Wedding March was, Jack Wagner.
Yes.
But yeah, he comes to town representing National Pacific Railroad, saying that they aren't going to build the depot in Hope Valley.
Did you get upset? I got upset when I heard that. I'm like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
After everything went through season 4.
After all the drama of last...
I know.
Like, why did we deal with Ray and Wyatt for an entire season not to get it?
And I was like, wait a minute. They're not going to do this to us now. Is that funny how this show does that to you?
Oh, I know.
I was like, no. But we'll get into it, of course. But yes. I wasn't happy when I heard that at first. Like, wait a minute.
I know.
What's going on there?
A lot of people were.
Yes. But I love... some of the best lines of the show came from Bill. And when he meets Jacob, and Jacob says, I've heard a lot about you, the first line that he says is, give me a moment to defend myself. I thought it was just a funny line, because it's just so Bill. And later on, he has a line where he says, I used to like when Greeks, what they did to people who said bad news. I
always like the way Greek dealt with people who brought the bad news.
Yes. He had the best
Hence,
lines.
Kill the messenger.
But yes, I thought... I said, this is going to be a real episode about the town again. I had a feeling that's what was going to happen. So I was like, get ready, James. Get ready. It's going to be like a tearjerker. Get ready. And Abigail, they're putting her through the ringer as a mayor. Which is, being a mayor was probably not an easy thing to do.
No, it's not. What were your thoughts of Jacob Weston? Because we've never seen his character in this show.
No.
And usually the people who come from the outside, we always have to flag already, because usually they're not up to no good. Every once in a while we get the good guys like Carson.
Right.
But what were your thoughts of Weston? Did you think he was good or bad, or should we trust him? Should we not? Good
question, because when he first came out, like you said, when everybody comes to town, I'm like, bad, flag goes up. This one, I think he's a lawyer. So how you feel about that is your business out there. But I don't think he's all out bad. He really was a messenger delivering the news. but he's a little detached, which you might have to be, I guess, as a lawyer. I guess you have to be detached at some level, right? I guess.
I'd imagine no emotional attachments.
Right.
He's delivering a message, really. He was doing his job.
Right.
He was basically just there to say, hey, this isn't going to happen, and he was going to leave.
Yeah. And so I thought,
it's better to say it in person than
yes, that's very true.
The cowardly way in a letter or their telegram.
Telegram. No, so at first I was like, he's bad. Well, maybe he's not that bad. So as a character, I thought he was fine. I did not dislike him or love him in the sense of the character, but I was like, okay, throughout the whole episode, he was towing the line of being a lawyer and being somewhat detached. So, I mean, how do you feel about him?
I didn't like him.
Okay, there you go.
Only because on the preconceived notions, and I've seen him because I just listed all the things that he's done with Hallmark. His characters are not the nicest people.
Oh, so he plays...
That he's known for playing the bad guys or, like, the distrustful guys. Okay. So I already had this, like, pre-existing thoughts about him. I'm like, okay, he's probably bad. Yeah. Starting it up.
Makes sense.
Again.
Makes sense.
But... coming around, and not to jump for it, but like he fortunately he was good.
Right.
So.
But I think he was good because it did pierce his heart. Let's go back to the heart part.
Oh.
It pierced his heart. So we'll talk about that later, a little later in this episode. But it pierced his heart, so he had a change of heart, decided to kind of speak for the town to the railroad. I think that's what happened. So again, he came in just a detached lawyer. I gotta do what I got. This is my job. I gotta do what I gotta do. And he was going to leave. Remember, he was going to leave.
Right.
And that was it. Which I love that. Well, we can assume Bill played with his car. Because it was never really confirmed. I mean, there's a whole. It was never really confirmed.
But, okay, so I watched this episode a couple times, like
as you do.
I'm supposed to.
Yes.
And there was a line that I missed the first time, admittedly, that Abigail was like, "Make sure he doesn't leave."
Yes.
And then there was a lingering shot on Bill's face. It's like, I can make that happen. Like,
first a citation.
So
yes.
We have his car stalled. He can't.
Yes.
He can't leave.
He can't leave. I love
Citation. I love that for Bill. But then Bill also brings up, he's like, well, it'd be faster if he could take the train, but we don't have a train.
Love that line. See, again, great lines. They gave Jack Wagner's character so many great lines.
Oh, the irony.
Oh, yes, the irony. So,
Brilliant.
yes. Yeah, I agree.
Too bad he couldn't take the train.
I know.
Bill had a lot of great moments.
He had a lot of great moments. He did.
A lot of zingers.
He did.
So good.
Yes, I agree.
But yeah, not having a depot in Hope Valley affects a lot of people.
I got scared.
Affects a lot of businesses.
I totally...
Dotties. What we were thought when we now had town council meeting, because Abigail's like, well, if you're gonna break the whole heart, you might as well tell it to the face. So let's have a town meeting.
It was very hard to watch when the town was talking kind of crap about Abigail's mayoral skills, saying maybe it's too much, and with Yost, they're talking about maybe it's too much, and maybe it's and Abigail walks in, and like I said, they're nervous, they're scared. It's like it's a very again, we went through season 4.
It's a natural knee-jerk reaction that we would have.
But then it was realistic in terms of she is the mayor. And she's a woman, and probably think maybe it's too much for her. Like, what's going on? And it felt realistic. And so I love that Abigail's she's such a great character. She was going to fight it. And we're going to do this. And like you said, let's have a town meeting then. And I love at first, she was like, because the kids were having a problem with it.
Yeah.
Which is so realistic.
Robin and Cody are fighting. They are the best friends on the show.
I know.
When something as big as this town depot and this train depot, like affecting like little kids and their friend,ship, what's it going to do to the adults and their businesses?
I know. But I found that it was very realistic that sometimes us as adults, and I've had children, and so you guys have children, we have to be mindful sometimes what we bring home, what we say, because it does affect, and we've all been kids too. We've our parents, what affects us.
Children always know.
Children know. Children are smart. Children pick up.
Might not
and what
always
Elaine
say
Person said, kids always pick up what's going on.
Yes, children always know.
They do. And I thought it was a great representation of that on this episode, where the kids are feeling the crunch too. And I like that the part that Abigail says, it just breaks my heart that the kids are worrying about this, thinking about worrying about this. Because you don't want the kids to worry about it. Not at all. I want them to worry. I want them to be kids.
Right.
You know, but kids do feel what you're going through. And I always tell my kids, be careful with your kids, because they see and hear and feel things.
They do.
They feel things. We did as kids, I'm sure.
We definitely felt just like the town. What were your thoughts of Lee and his 2 cents about how this would affect him? How he would have to change his business and just the way his
I love that. I loved
happen.
it. I love that he stood up to him and was like, I will adjust and adapt. I will figure out a way. And he was trying to get at him again, they're trying to make him see this is not a good decision. And that the town really will step up and needs this. And I love Abigail's suggestion. Why don't you just have it in both towns? Have a depot in both places. Everybody wins. Well, that's just too much money.
Too much money. I was like, okay, first of all, Ray Riot last year was willing to spend loads of money on this railroad to make it happen. And now they're pulling out at the money. Something's off.
It's so modern. Again, I say this every time. This show is so relatable. It ties into what's going on today. It's still going on today. In certain industries and jobs I've had. It's so relatable.
Right. It was just, that was not a good excuse because when we know that they had money last year.
Yeah, money.
And now they're saying they don't. Like,
no, that's
where
not
did that money go? You're still trying to build a railroad.
But I liked that Lee. But I liked that Lee was like, well, then I'll just adapt and I'll change and adjust and I'll work it out somehow.
I loved what he said though. But there are things in this world that are more important than money, like doing the right thing. And that's actually a great tie back to what Rosemary was saying to Clara.
Yes.
Saying, emotions are like a muscle. It takes work to make them strong. Lee doesn't realize it, but I have him doing emotional push-ups at least twice a day.
See, if you love.
That's my favorite quote of this episode. But it ties into what Lee says, because emotionally he felt something, and he is aware of that. So good on you, Lee.
I love those lessons. With the show, I love that.
Yeah. Your thoughts of Cody speaking up. This was the biggest surprise.
See, I did not expect that at all. And here's a part where I stood up. This is exactly what I'm going to reenact it really quick for you guys. That's what I did. Elizabeth walks in with the kids.
Beautiful.
Just like, I want her to be my teacher. I want her to be my teacher so bad.
No.
Even though I'm like 50 years old, I want her to be my teacher.
She's still teaching us. Don't worry.
She is. And then when Jordan, Jacob wouldn't look. She says, "Look at them." I want this. You tell him to look at him. That's why I stood up off my couch to say I love when she said that, because the look on her face. Oh, she was like, "You look at them," and then he looked at them, and I was like, "Oh!" And then Cody gets pulled up. And I told this to Carter, and he wrote back sorry with a happy face on it. I told him, I said, "You made me cry today." Again, he's going to be a great leader in that town someday. That's my prediction. That's one of my early predictions.
What if he took over mayor? Could you imagine? That'd be amazing.
Yes, I think he's going to be a great leader one day in Hope Valley if they all stay there, and that's how that works.
Yeah, right.
But his speech, because he is the mayor's son,
definitely. And it definitely shows.
Yes.
Abigail and her amazing teaching and the raising of this child into a young man, a young adult that he is now turning on. I mean, I was watching this. I was like, wow, Carter is really grown up.
Yes, he is growing up. We know him so,
compared to season 3.
Yes.
He was like, he just looks taller. He looks older.
Shout out to Carter and the family.
Yes,
we love
Carter,
them.
you're amazing. He might be on this season.
Okay, there you go, folks.
It's like such growth and maturity from this child, this actor.
It's just funny. All the kids are starting to really grow up. They're growing up. We're watching them grow up.
I know, on screen, right before our eyes.
But yeah, his speech made me cry. I cried. And you see, I love that Jacob could relate to him. See, it hits him. I was adopted too.
Yes.
And I'm like, there you go. So again, they're trying to pierce his heart. And Cody's speech did that.
I was an orphan too.
Yep.
Our childhood never leaves us. But I loved how he related to Cody, because this could have been him when he was a kid.
Yep.
And knowing when a big decision can affect a child's life, and such as this one that he would be doing for all these kids, he'd be changing their lives, and you can tell that that Abigail did such a great job raising Cody that Weston was kind of jealous that he didn't have a person such as Abigail to raise him.
Which is natural.
Like that.
Yeah.
It's like, you know what? Good on you, Abigail. Good on Weston for realizing that.
Yes.
And coming around.
Yes, I agree. But it was Cody. The children will speak, and hopefully you'll listen, and out of mouths of babes, all that stuff. And he spoke, and it made the most sense. And that was what I think, turned the tide for Jacob going back to his peeps.
Amazing. Cody's speech, I mean, I have the whole speech. I don't know if I should read it because I can't say it as great as he did. But I did love one of the lines. It's like, it's like, I know the railroad isn't a man, but you are. Seems to me that if a promise is made, it should be kept. So I think the railroad should keep their promise like everyone else is supposed to. Yes, Cody.
Yes.
To be schooled by a child.
You know.
Woo.
So a little child shall lead them. That's right, Jordan Blackstone. A little child shall lead them. Yes.
Good. So
yes, I agree.
The depot is coming to Hope Valley, and they're also making one in Jameson.
Yes.
So now we have into places.
Well, I love that shot. Here's something that's fun. I love that shot because when first Lee was coming in on the horse and they had the wood, I was like, what's going on?
And we have that shot.
And the other shot. And so when she's like, and then Abigail's jumping up and she's like, she's so happy it worked out. And the overhead shot, a little production thing for me. I love that. Showing that they're going in, they're going across town because the railroad needs more wood. I was like, yes, yes, yes. I was cheering. I was literally cheering in my house.
No, I loved it too because with the overhead shot, but the first shot was when Lee was coming in on horse and buggy and wagon, and because he said it, he's like, I'll just drag it by horse, and I'm like, okay, he's dragging it by horse. This depot's not coming.
Yes.
Sure enough, it is.
It is. And I love that Abigail was jumping up and down as they were rolling by. It was, again, another kind of shot, like the shot how he did that. She was excited and happy, and she goes, "We did it.
We did it. The town did it.
The town did it." And I wish I lived in a town like that. I'm like, yes. I'm like, it was just made me so happy.
Yeah, and even Weston was like, whole town changed it for me.
Yep.
We did it. Mm-hmm. Good job, Hope Valley.
Yeah, Hope Valley, yes.
But I loved what he also said to Abigail. It's like, you're a great mayor, Abigail, and even a better parent.
Good.
Yes. She
I was crying.
Is...
Don't worry, I had tears. I had tears going to my eyes.
So good.
Yes.
So good.
Yes.
All right, let's get to some more school, actually.
Oh, yes.
With Julie Thatcher.
The tale of two Miss Thatchers, I call it. I love this storyline. I do. I said it on Twitter, people were laughing. I love this storyline. I loved how, I don't know, I guess it must have been an acting, directing choice, writing choice. I loved how Elizabeth was looking at her sister during the arts portion of the class. There was pride in her face finally. There was this pride. My sister is really good at this and she's getting better. And then when the problems arose with the kids, which was very realistic, totally realistic. Yeah. If you've never done it before, discipline a kid, it can be really hard, folks. If you've never disciplined a kid before, it can be hard. And I like that Elizabeth mentioned her through that.
Yeah, and I loved it because, I mean, it's one thing to, help guide a child, but it's another thing to actually gauge their emotions and actually deal with it.
Yes.
Because I have it down in my notes that Julie doesn't know how to console children.
Right.
And a lot of people might not to.
Oh, it's not easy. It doesn't come naturally. Even those of us who become parents, it's not the easiest thing either. We're going by either our own parents or what we think we know. I mean, it's not easy. And as a teacher, because you're not their parent, but you are parental while you have them, there's a responsibility you have to do. There's lines you have to be. It's a really close line. And so when I should have shown the picture right now when you show the parent come back with, was it Julie?
With Anna.
Because Anna, it was she got upset because it got brushed off. Well, that's a legitimate excuse. That's a legitimate reason that she was upset, and then the parent has some kind of feeling about it.
Yeah, and I always feel bad when the parent has to get involved because we've seen some overbearing parents in this show, and we've seen some parents that don't know what to do with their children.
I agree.
And I'm glad that this didn't escalate to when you saw Mama Bear.
I got a little nervous.
I was like, oh, what's gonna happen? I'm glad that it was addressed.
Yes, me too.
And it didn't get overheated or over dramatic.
I agree.
But it was addressed enough that, hey, Julie didn't do something. Let's do something about it. And
I like Elizabeth. She takes responsibility. She's like, well, she's under my apprenticeship. I will talk to her. Mm-hmm. And I was like, good. She's not saying, well, she's like, no excuses. She's like, I'm going to talk to her. And I love when it was almost like Cyril under Bergerac, kind of like she's over there looking at her, kind of smiling, like, yes, you're doing okay, as she's telling Anna why she got a B-.
Yeah, your thoughts of this.
I loved it.
During Anna's drawing and Laura's drawing.
Yes.
Laura was the one who got the B-.
Oh, it's a Laura, yeah.
Laura. Yes. But the whole idea of not following directions, very important.
Very important. And very realistic. I agree, very realistic. But I just love how Elizabeth was behind them. She didn't jump in.
No.
She didn't. She gave Julie the space to do this. But her knowing, like, okay, the look she gave her was like, yes, you're doing fine. And it wasn't easy for Julie. You could tell it wasn't easy. It was a very realistic scene. For me, as a parent, it's just a realistic scene.
Yeah, it's like sometimes you have to let someone do it on their own.
Because I feel so like a bad person. And she's like, no, you're not a bad. I love how they close the doors together. It's kind of funny.
Just being a teacher.
Yeah, just being a teacher.
Yeah, sometimes we have to do the difficult things for their own good.
Yes.
Mistakes are how we learn. Yes.
yeah.
I know that all too well.
Let's give a shout out to Alfonso Moreno, the amazing showrunner.
Yes, let's do that.
Yes.
Speaking of shout outs, shout out some Hearties.
I'm seeing, okay, am I seeing a lot of New England Hearties in here? I see my Ohio Hearties in here. I see you guys are in here.
Hearties.
You see me wearing my shirt, of course. But I'm seeing some major people tell me, like, Royal Masterpiece has been just really commenting.
Awesome name.
I love that name, too. Rebecca K, I Heart It, who's always in here. I'm seeing names that I'm not recognizing. Elaine Purser, welcome.
Hello.
We have Casey Simpson, Vanessa O'Hare, welcome.
I Heart Knit.
I Heart Knit, of course. Jordan Blackstone, Terry DeVinci. Oh my God.
DeVinci.
That's my girl. I know who. I just get your word out. I'm drinking Sprite, by the way. Nothing about that. Jamie Ann 211.
Drinking water.
Drinking water 211. Is that too much caffeine already? Lindsay Leak. I love the way you spell Lindsay. It's a great way you spell it. I love that. And our buddy Christine Frattenberg.
Hello, German Hearties.
There's also a Sunshine Hearty in here.
Oh,
how cute is that?
hello.
Are you from Florida or somewhere like Sunshine State? Does that mean that?
Sunshine State.
I think maybe does that mean that, or maybe not? Let me know. But we have some great people in here. Lee Beth. I mean, we have our usual. We have 76
people in here. We got Janette. Hello. We have Jordan.
Yes, Valerie Slover, Lori Meeker. Oh, Tennessee. We have Tennessee Hearty. Elaine Person, Tennessee Hearty.
Yes, Tennessee.
Yeah, Tennessee. I love it. I love Memphis, you guys. Love Memphis. Oh, wait. You're from PA, Sunshine Hardy, from Pittsburgh. Oh, you're from, not Pittsburgh. That's not where you go to. But from Pennsylvania. Where are you from Pennsylvania? Let me know. But you're from LA. Oh, hi. Like,
so are we. Well, you are, not I.
I'm from LA. And then we got Kentucky in the house. Yeah, okay. And Lindsay League. My parents did good. They did. I like the spelling a lot.
There you go.
I do. We love you guys.
Hi, Hearties.
We love you, Hearties. And seriously, we do love that you come join us every week. You share with people. The ones who are watching and listening to this right now, we love you too. We're so glad that you are coming to us. And I just want to tell you briefly, in a couple of weeks, I'm going to read some of the comments that are on the iTunes page. And we'll do. But one person wrote something that I have to mention. It makes me laugh. I'm saying this in jest. They gave us like 4 out of 5 stars, but they wrote, these people love this show. They love this show, and they're too gushy. I just want to tell you, yes, we are gushy, and I love this show. That's all I want to say. I thought it was hilarious. I love the show with 10 O's. I love it.
Yes, love it.
Yes.
Oh, and I do have to speak about the iTunes.
Yes.
On our off season, some house cleaning as well, housekeeping.
Yeah. Oh, yes.
On our off season, we changed our iTunes RSS feeds to all read Happy Hallmarkies, which is my other show that is all about Hallmark-centric shows and movies and stuff. So our iTunes, When Calls the Heart, is still under Happy Hallmarkies. But don't you worry, we are actually separating them back into their own shows. So When Calls the Heart will be its own show. So if there's a day where your phone blows up with all the When Calls the Heart episodes, that's the day we officially split things again.
Yes. Yeah, someone brought that up, and somebody else mentioned it to me later. It was like, they're getting confusing, so...
I have to say that because I'm on the technical end of that, and who will help split that up for you. So I'm just letting you guys know. Yes, but thank you for your comments on Facebook, Instagram. Everywhere. Twitter.
Everywhere.
iTunes.
Everywhere.
YouTube.
Yes.
We get it everywhere. We read it all as much as we can.
We do.
But this episode kind of ended on a crazy note. We had Elizabeth when she's talking to Laura's father and all that. Laura's father gives her the newspaper that says Mounties encounter resistance in Northern Territories. Were you worried?
I was, and then they showed the preview for next week.
I know.
So I was like, okay, I know, but at first, no, I didn't. At first, I was like, oh, they're ending it on this note. Mm-hmm. Like, wow, that's really, and I love, again, no production. I love the shot. Her and Abigail are hugging. Their best friends are hugging, and it pulls away. It pulls out. You see the town.
I thought it was like beautiful crane shot.
Oh yeah, it was great. It was great. And you've been
production,
there.
you guys.
Yes, exactly. And you've been there.
I was like, I stood right there.
Yes, and it was a beautiful shot, but it was a serious ending. It was like, wow. Again, letting us know that Jack's not gone. He's fighting the good fight, right, in the north.
Yeah.
And this is what naturally would happen. You have some great stuff happening, and then scares. Scares happen when it comes to war. It's
She's
not
worried
easy.
about Jack.
She is. She loves her man.
We all are.
Right.
We all are.
You know, so I mean, it's just so sad. Like, oh, I don't want to see Elizabeth upset.
I didn't think Jack would be harmed.
Yeah.
Like, we know he's coming back.
Right. Wait, you have to kind of
Hearties, if we didn't have Jack, we don't.
yeah, right. It's no show. Right.
So I wasn't worried for his well-being. But I do feel bad for the other Mounties that are up there fighting the good fights.
Fighting the good fight.
Because, I mean, we had, what's his name? We had...
Oh, his best friend.
His best friend.
Oh, who died? I'm blanking out his name right now, too, but he
It'll
died.
come to me. Doug.
Doug, yeah.
Doug. Thank you. You know, I was
yeah.
just digging in my head. When Doug came, for the short amount of time he was on screen, and then he died the next episode, we felt for it.
We felt for it.
So now we have all these Mounties.
You're all saying Doug.
Who are
Doug.
also, yes, thank you.
Yeah, we got it.
Who are also getting killed.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
Me too.
Because it's nothing that we can do. It's nothing that the town can do. We just know that is the cost of war.
But I felt, I'm glad you said that, because I felt that's the point of them showing us that is the cost of war, and it is scary. And in that moment, we saw previews, but in that moment, anything could come up for her. That's what's so scary for Elizabeth. So he could get harmed. He may not die. He could get harmed. I mean, anything could happen. And I saw the paper. It said 1915.
Yeah.
So we're at 1915. I wasn't sure. I wasn't sure.
Canada's technically at war.
Yeah.
In World War.
So, yeah. So it was just kind of like it was a great moment. But I didn't know it was going to end on that moment. I didn't know it was going to end like that. I was like, wow, okay. That's kind of interesting. But she went to your best friend, of course. You always go to your best friend.
I did love this. Fortunately, my DVR kind of had a satellite skip a bit, because it went straight from Abigail talking to Weston and him saying, like, you're a great mayor and all that. And then it just skipped to Abigail hugging Elizabeth. I'm like, what happened? So I missed it. Thank you, DirecTV.
Oh, DirecTV. Dang it.
But I went back on Hallmark everywhere now, and we watched the ending, because it happens, you guys.
It happens. Glitches happen. Yeah, glitches happen.
But I mean,
but Abigail and Elizabeth are. Like
but we got an
besties.
amazing preview.
Oh yes, we did. It was a great preview. That's what I kind of laughed because they started all this Jack stuff. So I was like, okay, he's back. He's fine. The Mounties are coming in. He's fine. Now this is what's killing me. So. I'm almost thinking, is there a wedding next week? I feel like they're gonna build up to a wedding. It can't be next week. I mean, it has to be like
Next week.
They have to be like announce it, right?
It's
Like I don't think it's next week either. But just like they're leading. They just everything in the preview was like, let's get ready for the wedding. Let's do this. Probably a couple weeks then, I guess. Right?
Probably. I mean, Jack comes back. Hashtag Jack is back.
Jack is back.
Yay.
yeah.
I think he's gonna stick around for a few episodes. But that also goes with my predictions that I think he's going to leave again.
Well, I think
we might get the wedding before he leaves.
I'll say I agree with that. I think the wedding's going to happen before he leaves.
Yeah, it will probably be his last episode, and then he leaves again.
Which happens in real life. Some people get married before him.
Yeah,
my god brother got married before he went off to war to my god sister. So yeah, it does happen. I love how E said things are going to be crazy around here. I'm like, that's what Romance said. So I guess on Home and Family. So okay.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Oh, I agree with you. It won't be next week. It'll be quick. Probably won't be next week. Okay.
I think next week we get the preview of Jack saying, like, is it okay to announce when we're gonna?
He did say that. He did say that in the preview. Yes, he did say that.
Because like they all know that they're engaged, but there's no save the date yet.
There isn't.
So I think it's like, hey, we're getting married. Be there.
Yes. Oh, and the candles, especially the candles in the preview.
Yeah.
I thought Marisa, as soon as I saw the candles.
There'll probably be 150 candles this episode, too.
I was like, what's the candles? What's with the candles?
For the wedding, they have to double it, and it'd be 300. Okay. I'll count. No, I won't.
You will count. You know, someone wrote 200 candles, haha.
200, yeah.
Well,
so we go from 150 at the engagement, 200 to this dance, and then 300.
300 for
300 for the wedding.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yes,
But I
candles.
thought of you as soon as I saw the candles, like, oh. The candles.
Yes.
Candles.
We're definitely getting candles.
We're getting candles.
Wedding. I mean,
Getting candles.
come on. All right. Anything else about this episode before we move on?
Again, I think it was a well-rounded episode, again, about the town.
Yes.
That there were great themes that were explored, great moral lessons. Everybody from the kids to the adults, spot on. Everybody from the leads to the supporting characters, great work. Great cinematography this episode.
Yes.
I would say great cinematography this episode, and just great writing, and again, show running. I thought it was I liked it better than the first episode also. It was a superb episode.
It's a strong town.
It's a strong town.
And that's the amazing thing is, yes, we don't have Jack, but the town still thrives on its own.
Yes.
With everybody's help.
Yes.
For everyone, and loved it.
Yes, I agree.
So good.
There's so many feels. Yes, so many feels.
So many feels.
Yes.
All right, so let's move on to news, shall we? Almost there. News.
Oh.
there it is. We'll get there. Eventually, we got it.
Yes.
Thank you, Anthony. All right. So some fun things that happened in this past week. Actually, Lori Loughlin did an interview with US Weekly that actually happened last week. So
okay. Yeah.
Somehow I missed it. But she did a good interview with US Weekly and some good things she said about it. She says, I love that I'm telling a story about a woman who is a single working mom, raising a family, holding down a job, running her own business, being involved in the community politically with the other woman. Mm-hmm. And then she goes on, continuing and says, I love everyone I work with. We have a real family. There are many levels to it that make you happy. You're so appreciative of the audience, us being Hearties, and you love the fact that you can bring some of joy to their lives on a weekly basis. I agree.
Yeah, me too.
She's doing it.
She is doing it. I do that.
She's definitely doing it. And yes, over the weekend, if you guys missed the tweet fest that Erin was having,
yes.
So she was procrastinating one night and started an Ask Erin moment. And a lot of people were asking if, and admittedly I asked too, but she didn't.
But people were asking. People were asking too.
People were asking.
They were.
I believe it was Stacey Matthews asked Erin if she'll come back to AfterBuzz TV discussing When Close to Heart Season 5. And Erin actually responded if they'll have me back. Erin, of course.
Hello.
Is that even a real question?
That's not even a question.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So,
easily.
Yes, absolutely. There's plenty of
room,
space
plenty of
on this
space.
table. You can come back and we'll have fun. And also, I am a true believer. If you say it out loud, it will come out.
I agree.
So, putting that back out.
And thank you to the fans for thinking of us.
Yeah,
our
thank
show.
you guys.
Yeah, thank you for thinking of us in the show.
Speaking to her for us.
Yeah, I love that.
You're making our jobs easier.
Yes.
Yeah, and then last night, of course, with the tweeting and the tweet fest that we were having every Sunday, Hearties were trending on Twitter.
Yes.
I believe from the last time I checked, people were saying there was over 74,000 tweets just on the East Coast time alone.
You guys are amazing.
Let alone
amazing.
Add all the West Coast feeds.
Marisa taught me something last night because I'm a little slow. I'm just pretty, you guys. I'm just pretty. For me, it's hard because I have big sausage fingers. Look at my hands, you guys. To type on this little phone to live tweet. She's like, I use my laptop. I've never tweeted on my laptop before. Is that funny?
What?
I've never done it.
What?
So I'm going to try to do it.
Do you always check Twitter via your phone?
Yeah.
What?
Is that funny? I've never done it.
Why?
I'm an old person, that's why. I don't know.
Yes, I'm teaching him.
She taught me, I said she was too smart for me. I'm saying it out loud. I said it out loud. That's on camera.
He said it.
That's on camera.
Thank you, James.
So yes.
I think you're pretty too.
I love it.
So, James and I, we talked over the weekend, and we're going to do a fun segment as much as we can this season. We're going to talk a little bit about the When God Calls the Hearts.
This book is brilliant. That's right. I forgot if we had that part. It's a new segment. Yes. It's live television.
We're going to cover some devotions throughout the season.
Yes, we are. And okay, yes. The music. Like, I love the music. The book.
You just have to listen to it, you know?
First of all, the music. And this book feels so nice in your hands. I mean, seriously, it feels so nice. And I love, shout out to Brian Bird, Michelle Cox, and Affordable for Janette Oke. But the book itself, the way it's set up, you guys, it is brilliant. It incorporates When Calls the Heart with devotionals, with scripture, and after every little chapter, it's like those are small like chapters, but small sections. They ask you questions that relate to what you just read in your own life.
Right. And so there is a formula to this book, if you guys didn't pick it up. Yes. But every chapter / devotion, every chapter is a basic, small little recount of every episode. And so far, we're only on the season 1.
Yes.
Recounts.
That's right.
I got up to. We made an agreement to read like 30 to 40 pages.
I had some stuff to do last night.
I had to stop myself because I was like, you gave me another hour to finish this book. It's so good.
I've done 3 devotionals only because I had to get ready for my album. I had some album stuff doing. So, but she kept going a little further, and I can see myself going further. I mean, there is an easy read too. It's an easy read. But
I just kept reading.
But it's such a great read. And the first, like for example, the first 3, just the themes and the subjects were speaking to both of us.
Yes. So anything that really stood out to you?
Yes. The one that stood out to me, I believe it was number 2. The eviction notice is one. Because when they talk about being afraid to do something, and but hardship really does make you stronger. It does. And you guys know I've been through some hardship. But we all have. We've all been afraid to do things, and that's been my life since age 40. I decided to change my life, and I decided to go through with my faith and just go through it and believe it's going to work out. And I love the title, Eviction Notice. Like it just says so much when you read that devotional. It says so much. And actually, I love the actually I'm going to read Ecclesiastes. I'm going to let you know 4:12. Though no one may be overpowered, 2 can defend themselves. A cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. I just love that. It's so empowering. Just reading that sentence, those 2 sentences are so powerful to me. And that's what stood out. The first 3, which were great. This number 2 was the best. It spoke to me so heavily.
Yeah, I think the first chapter already sucked me in because there is a theme of change.
Yes.
And big changes is really scary.
Yes, it is.
And I think a lot of us have had to deal with change, and people are always afraid of they get so comfortable in their lives and the things that they do in their situations that when they change something up, they're afraid to do it.
Well, you left your home state.
I did.
And came to California.
I came here.
By yourself.
One suitcase.
By yourself.
With, yes.
Young.
Yes.
That's, I seriously, I admire that. I think people who do that, I mean, I left home at 18 also. I left and went, so I mean, it's like, I admire that because you took a chance, a leap of faith. I'm sure you probably were a little nervous and scared, weren't you?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I knew no one out here in LA. Literally, I got on a plane to meet 2 guys that I've never met before. Wow. So, I mean, and that being Kevin and Phil, who run this place.
Yeah. That's just, those 2 guys.
But the thing in chapter 1 was one of the questions at the end was, why do you have trouble trusting God with the big plans He gives you? And I think a lot of people, that goes with the change. It's like people always think, or like when they make a change, they don't know what's going to happen.
You want to control
it. That's where like the let go and let God happens. And that was chapter 1 for me. I was like, all right, this book is already better than a lot of self-help books that I've read.
even the first title, Dream Big, Expect Surprises.
Yes.
That's so true. It's happening to me right now at the moment in my life. And I relate to it so heavily, but yes, it's speaking to me so far. It's totally speaking to me.
A couple of my favorite quotes that I've read so far. Okay. Persistence always beats resistance.
Yes.
I agree with that. I'm a very persistent person. And if anyone knows me, I'm very persistent. So when I say I'm going to get people on the show, I'm going to make it happen. Yeah. Right. And then another one was, here's a prayer that is actually at the end of one of the chapters. Help me to dispense grace even when it isn't warranted, and to show your love as in God, in every situation.
I was always taught you're supposed to go in every situation with love and care. Mm-hmm. I was always taught that. So I try to do that in all my relationships today. And sometimes it's not easy sometimes because you have emotions and you feel a certain way. But if you want effective change, this is my coaching talking, of course. If you want effective change, you should go in with love and care. So that message from God is very relevant, and it's true. I think it's true. More can happen when you do that.
Yeah,
positive things can happen.
I love it, and I think it just kind of ties to my chapter 1 is like, here's another question at the end of, I believe, chapter 12, because that's how far I got.
Wow.
Was, what are some areas of unrest or uncertainty in your life right now? A lot of, change can happen with uncertainty. So, I mean, this book does such a great job of already making you reflect.
Yes.
Reflect on, what's happening. Because we learn a message from every episode. And how does that relate to our lives?
Right. We should always do self-check-ins.
Yes.
It's okay. Self-care is very important. You should always do self-check-ins for yourself. And this book so far is going to be doing that for us every devotional. But the self-check-ins are great because you should be doing what you want to be doing. That's what should be happening for your best life ever. So hopefully this book will help not only us, but you out there who are reading it, live your best life ever. Ask those hard questions. And maybe get some really great answers and trust God and the big plans. So hopefully that'll work.
So let us know your thoughts, Hearties, of this book, of this show, of this episode.
Yes.
Did you like this segment?
I thought
this was fun.
Some people said they like it already. It's like, good. Hope you like this segment. Hope we're going to do this.
Yeah,
this is
so
great.
we're planning on doing this as much as we can throughout every episode and after show of this season. Sometimes we might not.
Jordan says that Carol Evans is watching. Says thank you.
Hi, Carol.
You know you're my favorite family out there. Come on.
Yes, hello to your whole family.
To your whole family, your wonderful, beautiful family.
We would love to have Carter back.
Yes, definitely.
On our show via Skype or in studio.
You're in studio. If you're here in LA.
Again, putting that out there into the universe to make it happen. You see?
Yes,
It's not that hard to say it out loud.
No, not at all. It's easy to say it out loud.
There we go.
I love it.
All right, thanks, Hearties. That's episode 2.
No, that's not it. Is it? Is that it?
Yeah.
Our show's over?
Yeah. How fast did that go?
I know. I don't want to end. It's not fair. Okay.
There's nothing else in my rundown.
I know. She had the end of her rundown.
Oh,
actually,
the end of the board. There is.
Oh, there is? Oh, there is. Okay. Oh, okay.
I got so engrossed in our devotions. Let's do our fun segment. Also, a prediction.
Yes, somebody mentioned that just now.
Predictions. You see, I caught myself.
Here you go.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV
predictions. Yeah, someone said predictions already. They're like, I forgot that. Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't look at the bottom of the board.
Yeah.
Yes.
Go for it, James.
Well, it looks like I think Gowan's coming back next week.
Is he? Or you think?
I think so. They didn't show him.
Yeah, not in this episode.
But he might just be coming back. I don't think he's going to be like a major. I think he's just going to come back. And kind of just upset kind of Abigail for a little bit. It's like he's going to come back. Because I think the episode's going to be mostly about Jack. But they always have like what you call them A and B stories. There has to be a B or C and C story. And
tertiary story.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm trying to figure out who they're going to be. I mean, and Abigail is kind of. I think it's going to be Gowan. I think he's going to come back.
Yeah, well, if you think about it, right now we don't really have a town villain.
No.
Weston was the questionable guy in this episode.
But he did fine.
And he actually turned out good.
Yeah.
So if Gowan came back, he'd be the questionable person in
the
town again.
Exactly.
I agree with that.
Now, what are you thinking?
I think the wedding is going to happen in the last episode that Jack is here. Don't know what episode. But he does come back in episode 3, and I said that.
You did say that. You did say that.
3 or 4,
you did say that.
Came back in 3.
He's coming in 3. Yes.
Called it.
You did.
I think. Oh, and also, Julie is becoming an artist. So I don't know if we're going to keep seeing her journey. I would like to.
I think my prediction we get a break from her for next maybe episode or so.
Probably.
She'll be part of the wedding.
If Jack comes back, it's definitely going to be focused on Jack.
Oh yeah, Jack.
And Elizabeth.
And deservedly so.
Yes,
But I would say maybe episode 4, Julia will come back kind of in again, mainly probably for the wedding piece, like a side kind of character. Yeah. But I always see Julie still, but I think she won't be. I think we've seen the most of her for right now. It'll be a little break from her.
Yeah.
Because we didn't see Clara, we didn't see.
Yeah. Oh,
Jesse.
And I think Claire and Jesse are going to get back together.
Oh, we should. I think
the next time that because we only really saw Claire in this episode. I don't think Jesse was in this episode.
No, he wasn't.
If he was in town meeting, but we didn't.
We didn't see it. They didn't show him.
He didn't have a line. So the next time we see Claire and Jesse, Claire is gonna be the one to be like, I want this, because she said in tonight, like this episode, she's like, I just want to make sure I'm ready before I start something serious again. Yep. So I think after all this time, as this quote-unquote break from Jesse,
Yes.
she realized how much she does miss him.
Joyce says, watch Home and Family on March 9th.
Here we go, March 9th.
So is that when Dan's on? So you said somebody's coming back to it. I can't remember what you said earlier.
Actually, I'd have to look that
It
up.
went by so fast. They went by so fast. I didn't, because then we have 82
Let's
people
ask
watching.
Maria. She's on Home and Family.
Right, exactly. But so it's watched on the 9th. Okay, that's good to know for everybody out there. I didn't know.
Excellent. So watch Home and Family on March 9th, which is next week.
Exactly. I think it was March already. It's March already.
Yeah,
yes.
it's like March
Basically.
in a couple days.
Yeah.
But thanks everyone for tuning in.
Yes.
In the meantime, where can everyone keep following, James?
So, folks, I'm going to be with the Michigan Hearties, the Mitten Hearties, in April. So if you want to know more about that, go to their page. And I'm going to actually be in, because I'll be in Chicago. It's a long story, but I will be there.
Illinois.
Signing books, if you have books of mine, hugging babies, whatever. I'm going to be there. So I just want to make sure you know that. You can follow me at James Lott Jr.
There you go. So you're going to Chicago, my home state.
Yeah, home state. I love Chicago.
I'm not from Chicago, but I'm from Illinois. And then Michigan, which is like my second
I know.
home state.
I've never been there before. I've never been to Michigan in my
Michigan's gorgeous.
I can't wait.
I love Michigan.
I've never been.
I'm jealous that you're going.
Yeah. Come on.
Thanks everyone for tuning in. I'm your host, Marisa Serafini. You can follow me everywhere at Serafini TV. Keep rating, keep commenting, keep subscribing,
Yes.
keep watching Wynn Calls the Hearts. We have so much more to talk about in this season. And keep reading when God Calls the Heart.
God Calls the
We're going to be
Hearts.
talking about that too.
Yes.
Thanks, Hardy. We'll see you next time.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later, Hearties.
The views expressed herein are those of the host only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.